al máximo propietario de Rakuten, que es el patrocinador oficial y primer sponsor del Fútbol Club Barcelona. También el presidente del Fútbol Club Barcelona, el señor Josep María Bartomeu, que también pisa el césped con el máximo mandatario también del Chelsea. Son los prolegómenos de un partido que será dirigido por Masaki Iemoto y que el Barcelona juega con el siguiente once inicial. 7 jugadores de la cantera. Ter Stegen en la portería. Sergi Roberto, Gerard Piqué, Samuel Umtiti, Jordi Alba en línea de 4 atrás. Zona ancha para Sergio Busquets, Oriol Busquets, Riqui Puig, Alex Collado, Antoine Griezmann y Ousmane Dembélé. 3 campeones del mundo en el once inicial del Fútbol Club Barcelona. Mientras que por parte del Chelsea, el equipo de Frank Lampard, ya no está el señor Sarri, el técnico que hizo más grande todavía el Chelsea en las últimas temporadas. Ahí vemos la fotografía con los capitanes. César Azpilicueta por parte del Chelsea, Sergio Busquets por parte del FC Barcelona, máximo accionista de Rakuten, el presidente del Barcelona, Josep María Bartomeu, y también el presidente del Consejo de Administración, el representante de Abramovich, el máximo accionista y propietario del Chelsea. El Chelsea que juega con Kepa en la portería, Azpilicueta. Esta es la alineación del FC Barcelona. Lo dicho, con Ter Stegen, Sergi Roberto, Piqué, Umtiti, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, Riqui Puig, Oriol Busquets, Ousmane Dembélé, Antoine Griezmann y Alex Collado. Once inicial, por tanto, del combinado barcelonista en este primer partido de la pretemporada del curso 19-20. El pasamanos habitual en el Chelsea, recordemos, no hay demasiadas novedades, habida cuenta de que están sufriendo esa sanción administrativa por parte de la FIFA. No pueden fichar y únicamente las novedades por parte del Chelsea son todos aquellos jugadores que tenían cedidos a otros clubes de la geografía futbolística europea y que han regresado al Chelsea, como es el caso de Tommy Abraham, un espigadísimo delantero centro muy joven, Kepa en la portería, Azpilicueta, Christensen, David Luiz y Emerson en línea de 4 atrás, Kovacic, Jorginho en el doble pivote, Mount en la media punta, Abraham y Pedro. Este es el once inicial con Pulisic del equipo que entrena y dirige Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, vamos, que es en el Chelsea historia prácticamente viva,
sí, un futbolista tanto en el Chelsea como en la selección, importantísimo, y que coge por primera vez al equipo, por lo cual las expectativas para él van a ser muy altas, pero con la ilusión cuando empiezas a coger un equipo nuevo y más de ese nivel.
Masaki Iemoto es el referee y estamos en el estadio de Saitama, un escenario, Pepito Ramos, que se construyó para la Copa del Mundo 2002. Por cierto, ganó la selección de Brasil en aquella extraordinaria final frente a Alemania con 2 goles de Ronaldo. Luis. Once 12. Y ahí vemos a Ernesto Valverde en su tercer año, después de haber conseguido en los 2 primeros 2 ligas y una Copa del Rey, también otra final de la Copa del Rey. Pues va a poner el esférico en movimiento el norteamericano Pulisic, el año pasado cedido por el Chelsea, pero habida cuenta de la situación de castigo por parte de la FIFA de 2 ventanas sin poder fichar, tanto este verano como también en la ventana del mes de enero ya del año 2020 ya como pasa el tiempo. Comienza el partido. ¿Qué esperas, Pepe? Frenkie de Jong, Antoine Griezmann, Neto, porque se ha ido Silesen. ¿Cómo ves la configuración este año de la plantilla?
Bueno, o sea, hay una ilusión tremenda, especialmente con con el futbolista Griezmann, ¿no? Y también, sobre todo, con De Jong, ¿no? Vamos a ver si...
Espera un segundo, ahí viene Jordi Alba. Allá va el correcaminos, corner forzado por César Azpilicueta, saque de esquina.
Es decir, ilusiones máximas, como no puede ser de otra manera, a principio de temporada. Aún no se ha cerrado el capítulo de las altas y bajas.
Hasta el 31 de enero tendremos que estar con las orejas muy tiesas.
Sí. Y vamos a ver, ¿no? Yo la primera cosa que me viene a la cabeza sobre todo sería potenciar a chicos del B. Hoy vamos a ver a Oriol Busquets, a este futbolista que va a centrar Collado,
Alex
técnica
Collado.
muy bueno, Ricky Puig, etcétera.
Lanzamiento de esquina, toca Griezmann, el remate de Oriol Busquets se va por encima del travesaño de la portería de Kepa Aguirrezabalaga. Llamaremos Kepa.
Sí, Kepa. No se lo esperaba,
Pagó.
ese forcejeo, fíjate bien cómo queda totalmente solo.
Qué
ahí
bien
en esa
Griezmann,
prolongación.
cómo se
Muy
anticipa
bien,
a Mateo Kovacic.
Sí. Mateo
Por cierto,
Kovacic, el jugador del Real Madrid el año pasado.
Sí,
recordemos.
es la única incorporación. Ya estaba en el Chelsea, pero previo pago de 45 millones de euros. A punto, buen pase filtrado. Y ahí está. Más o menos bien la temporada, a ver cómo está el Big Sam, a ver cómo está el amigo Samuel Umtiti, ¿verdad?
Por supuesto.
Y también Ousmane Dembélé, después de esa lesión grave que sufrió en Balaídos, que le impidió jugar la final de la Copa del Rey. Balón que recupera Mason Mount, el exjugador, bueno, muy joven también, ha estado cedido al Vitesse y al Derby County. Otra vez lo intenta Pulisic, el cuero atrás para Emerson. Juega Emerson con Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic con Jorginho. Jorginho Emerson. Juega Emerson de nuevo hacia la banda derecha para la incorporación de Pulisic. Allá va Pulisic. Bien Piqué. Toca Oriol Busquets. Triangulando Fútbol Club Barcelona. Balón para el mariscal de Badía. Jugando atrás para Marc-André Ter Stegen.
Importante señalar, ¿no?, la posición de Griezmann como 9 y la de Ousmane Dembélé, que igual podía entrar por la izquierda como banda por la derecha del equipo atacante del Barcelona.
Atención a Emerson Palmieri, brasileño pero con pasaporte italiano, exjugador del Santos y de la Roma. Buen balón al segundo palo, el remate de César Azpilicueta que sale desviado a la izquierda de la portería de Marc-André Ter Stegen. Azpilicueta marchó hace muchos años de Osasuna y ahora también, como Lampard, forma parte del escudo del Chelsea. Capitán desde hace ya muchos años.
Es un futbolista...
Buen centro de Mateo Kovacic.
Sí, muy bueno. Hace grandísimos partidos, pero es muy regular. La prueba es el capitán desde hace tiempo.
Bueno, pues
carisma importante.
Vemos que Oriol Busquets está en una demarcación de
derecha,
falso lateral derecho.
Bueno, va a alternar con Sergio Roberto.
Y Sergio Roberto está ahí en el centro
eje,
del campo.
En el eje.
De momento el que no ha tenido oportunidad de tocar el cuero es Ricky Puig.
Efectivamente, que va por banda izquierda.
Ojo a ese balón que ha robado Mateo Kovacic. La pone Kovacic para Pulisic. Bien Piqué. Bien Piqué Power, el presi. Atención a la entrada por detrás de Pedro Rodríguez.
Pedro,
el chicharrero.
El gran Pedro.
Sí, señor. El único futbolista que ha sido capaz en un...
Ross. He seems to have been around for decades. A quick check of the birth certificate.
His 8th season with Chelsea. He will be 30 in August.
But what a signing he's been for Chelsea. He's 8.8 million euros. He's been just a class operator over those 8 seasons.
سكر أنا عارف راح سكر.
Someone that the younger pros can look up to. Doesn't matter whether he's playing right back, or he plays right side of centre half, of a 3 or in a 2. Quality player Azpilicueta.
إيش صار وشان شو مثل جرى
2012.
ليش
2012, a very memorable year for Chelsea.
مكتوب يا أخي نحط الاشتراكات
Champions League for the first time, of course, on the way during one of their most successful ties against Barcelona. There have been a number of them, but clearly the most famous for them. Incredible comeback at Camp Nou, involving the goals from Ramirez and Fernando Torres. Lampard, the catalyst of that Chelsea team, which went on to taste glory in Munich against Bayern. Talking about what the upcoming hopes are, of course Chelsea now Europa League winners as well. They will be featuring in the Champions League again next year. They missed out in this last campaign. Social media team operators got a little bit carried away in the build-up to today's game. Banter flowing backwards and forwards between the two clubs. Chelsea losing participation last year. Chelsea firing back. Here, he's getting the opening goal. Delivery was behind Abraham's run in the end. Good defensive work from Samuel Umtiti.
Yeah, more through luck than judgment here from Umtiti. Swings at it, just gets the top of his right foot on the ball, sends it skyward.
Chelsea corner though. Mount to send it in. Beyond David Luiz.
It shows you what the Chelsea management think of Mason Mount on most of the set pieces, corner kicks and free kicks. He had a really sparkling season for Derby County last season under Lampard and Morris. Granted only the championship in the English League, but only 19 years of age obviously last year. Mason Mount, 14 goals in 25 starts for Derby County.
He was fantastic. Got a hat-trick in the championship against Bolton. Part of this Chelsea setup since the age of 6. Lampard, the player he most looked up to, now getting the chance with a 5-year contract in his back pocket to learn from his idol. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, doesn't it? It's great that he's got that safety, that the 5 years obviously sees him through to his 25 years of age. Virtually 2 decades he'll have spent at Chelsea and still only be 25. I saw an interview with him earlier in the week, just saying how good it is to be able to learn from Lampard. Lampard's been talking him through how to arrive late into the box, and look, there's nobody better to learn from than Frank Lampard. Seems to have a really good head on his shoulders as well. Mason Mount speaks very well, pretty articulate. Just seems always willing to learn more and more, realise that he's evolving as a footballer.
Griezmann's just been a little quiet the last 5 minutes or so. Luiz under some pressure. Get back with the clearance out. Azpilicueta under some pressure here from Collado. Two Spaniards duking it out on the touchline. Experience winning out. David Luiz, who signed a new contract with Chelsea as well in May. Just giving Lampard even more stability over the decisions he's going to have to make. Rudiger's injury perhaps opening up a berth for the returning Kurt Zouma. He's been speaking with praise of not starting tonight, but I'm sure we'll see him for a few minutes.
I thought so. That's another thing for us to talk about, Ross, isn't it? Whether Zuma will remain here at Chelsea. A lot of talk of him going to Everton.
Offset's Ricky Puig. Very tidy player. Looking to make further strides this season. Having shone in Barcelona's pre-season last year. Having been introduced briefly this year in La Liga action, Copa del Rey as well. Three B players out there for Barcelona have all played for the first team.
Yeah, they'll all be striving, won't they, Ross? 4 more minutes, specifically in La Liga with the first team.
Here is Puig, a very clever, incisive player, looking for Griezmann, that guile that Barcelona are looking for. Again, with the introduction of De Jong this season. Looking to be a bit more unpredictable than they were last campaign. Puig, again, finding Griezmann. Dembele getting himself involved. Sergio Roberto, it's nice from Barca. Jordi Alba just trying a low delivery. Dembele's run.
We were talking about Puig, weren't we, before we came on air? Puig looks like a joyous footballer. He's got what every good midfielder wants, a head on a swivel. He knows everything that's going on around him. Maybe very diminutive in stature, but boy, he wants the football at every opportunity, always showing for it. Doesn't always look for the fancy pass either. Keeps possession, and when it's on, he will split that Chelsea defence.
Sergio Busquets finds Puig. It's too quick for Pulisic. Advantage played out to Collado. Puig again running the show.
It looks effortless at times for Puig, only 19 years of age.
Commentated on a game involving Barcelona and AC Milan last summer in San Jose, California. Puig was absolutely dominant, best player on the pitch by a mile. Offset to Pedro. Has faced Barcelona before for Chelsea. 2 appearances when they last met competitively in the Champions League a couple of years ago. Barcelona won that time. Test for Christensen. Here's the new star signing.
Yeah, certainly a test of his pace. Kept up with Griezmann well there, Christensen. Stride for stride, got his footing, got his challenging. But for me, yes, it is only a friendly. Chelsea have to do better keeping possession of the ball. They've gifted possession back to Barcelona a couple of times now. You don't see the ball for large spells if you keep giving it away. Barcelona will be very happy to keep possession of the ball. And in this heat, this humidity, Chelsea don't want to do too much chasing.
Griezmann has spoken about having to adapt his game slightly from the way he played at Atletico Madrid. He says Atleti are much faster than Barcelona. And maybe that's part of the game in which he can help Barca as well this season. We were having a conversation as well, Matty, about whether Griezmann's introduction may well help the likes of Coutinho, of course, struggled last year. Thoughts on that in just a moment. Here's Dembele, who needs a big season this year. Needs to stay with the club. Nicely done. Chance here for Dembele. After an eloquent flick, put him in the clear. Kepa smartly off his line.
Absolutely audacious flick from Puig into Dembele. Kepa does incredibly well though. We talked about the diminutive figure of Puig, kind of playing in that number 10 position. The bottom of his number, the number 8 on the back of his shirt is almost tucked into his shorts. Shirt's that little bit too big for him, tiny in stature, but boy, what a player.
He's the slim fit. Soccer action on ESPN continues tonight, actually, with 3 International Champions Cup matches. First, it's Real Madrid against Arsenal at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we've got Chivas facing Atletico Madrid on ESPN. And over on ESPN Plus, we'll have Bayern Munich taking on AC Milan. The action does not stop.
It certainly doesn't. It's just ramping up for the beginning of the European seasons as well. Chelsea have another trio of friendlies before the EPL starts. And it doesn't come much more difficult than playing away at Manchester United at the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford for Chelsea on August the 11th.
It's going to be quite the opener for Lampard.
He thrived there as a player, that's for certain.
Pedro copped his own player there. Tammy Abraham right in the stomach after he teed him up as well. It's a bit more favourable a pass. Abraham can't turn it on.
I think that's just the wrong option from Abraham, trying to pick a difficult pass. This is that layoff from Abraham. Good layoff right into the path of Pedro. Decent strike with the right foot. Not sure Tammy Abraham can bring those down though.
Stoppage here. It's Griezmann who's taken a knock. It's a nasty collision. Challenge from Jorginho on Griezmann.
Yeah, studs were certainly showing a little bit from Jorginho though. This one's hurt Griezmann. It's certainly not what Valverde will want to be seeing from the star striker. They've just outlaid 135 million euros on. Don't need this in your first friendly.
Well, the tour plans come to an end for Chelsea after this engagement in Japan, but for Barcelona they will continue on Saturday in Kobe, about 300 miles west. Got a reunion with Andres Iniesta and David Villa, Sergi Samper as well, all part of the Vissel Kobe team. It's 1 year since Iniesta left Barcelona, so a nice reunion, friendly match to aid their preparations and also to say hello to their legend. So they only arrived here on Sunday, having taken a Saturday flight from Europe. They must be feeling pretty groggy, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they will. I saw that there on their social media, the first training session Barcelona had was actually in the hotel. They got a big room in the hotel and they were just limbering up inside that hotel, but I'm with you, Ross. It seems as though some of these players must be suffering a little bit of jet lag. Tough to come in at so close to kick-off time. Griezmann, you can see on the inside of that right knee there's a few cuts. Certainly was a rough challenge from Jorginho. I don't think there's a great deal of malice in it. The studs were showing. Certainly cut the inside of Griezmann's knee.
Began training, the whole team only began training last Monday. Throwing a plane flight around half the globe and stuck up this 90 minutes here. I doubt that we'll see any of these Barcelona players turn out for 90 minutes tonight. Save maybe for the goalkeeper ter Stegen. Here's Griezmann. It's nice again. Shot blocked though.
This may be their first friendly. They may not have had many training sessions. They may be slightly jet lagged, but that ability to keep the ball and the interchange of passing around the edge of Chelsea's 18-yard box is still there. That doesn't go away.
Dembele, his fellow Frenchman, in Griezmann, out now for Alba. Feels for handball against Azpilicueta. Pedro there to sort it out. Pedro will turn 32 on Sunday, so this is a nice birthday present for him.
I certainly enjoy seeing a few ex-teammates.
And 11 years at Camp Nou, in in which he collected 20 trophies. Ridiculous, including 2 trebles. Left for Chelsea at the end of that incredible treble in 2015 under Luis Enrique.
He had some stint, didn't he? 5 La Liga titles, 3 UEFA Super Cups, 3 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, 11 major trophies there, 3 Copa del Reys, 3 Champions Leagues, 5 leagues. But interestingly, never the Europa League, which he's now won. Current Europa League champions, Chelsea, of course. Got a goal in the final, no less. Well, the pattern now developing. Possession overwhelmingly in favour of Barcelona. Chelsea trying to be incisive when they do have it. Barca getting back in their rhythm. Some nice moments as well. Sergio Roberto. Ball just getting away from him.
Do you get worried at this early stage, Ross, that Barcelona are so dominant? Chelsea are 4 games in, this is their 4th friendly. Barcelona, this is only their first one, as you say. Slightly jet-lagged, only just come in. And you see Tammy Abraham struggling to get into the game, Pulisic struggling to get into the game. I just wonder whether it's a slight worry for Frank Lampard. I know that certainly the results don't matter, but just the manner of the performance so far hasn't been there for Frank Lampard and Jody Morris.
Still hope for more in the coming minutes. Here's Pulisic. Chance for him. Straight at Ter Stegen, and a golden chance for Abraham, which is not accepted with the goal gaping.
Just bemoaning the style and the standard of Chelsea's play. It's a great move. Pulisic cuts inside, decent strike. It's a poor save from Ter Stegen, gifting the rebound to Tammy Abraham. Has to tuck that away.
Puig leading Barcelona away, maybe with their own counter-attack to punish Chelsea here. Griezmann. Well, it appears that they're all a bit rusty.
Certainly won't be seeing that very often in La Liga. Griezmann swinging at the ball, complete whiff. Totally missed it.
Tammy Abraham has had a full summer of football. Part of the under-21s, which did not exactly set the world alight at the European Championships for England. Mason Mount part of that team as well.
Has nothing to do with that specific miss from 4 or 5 yards out, but you do wonder whether Tammy Abraham has the quality, has the technique to play the number 9, to lead the line for Chelsea in the Premier League.
Looking out here for Mount, who's taken it down very nicely on the chest. He's ridden the challenge as well, which came in from Umtiti. It was very nearly a spectacular finish from Mason Mount.
Well, that's the one thing we do know. Mount doesn't lack confidence. Goes up against Piqué. Gets a little lucky here, but gets the ball down onto the left foot, strikes goalward. Just half a yard over Ter Stegen's crossbar. But Mount has got an eye for goal. 14 goals last season. Sorry, 8 goals last season for Derby County. 14 goals a season before that for Vitesse when he was playing in the Netherlands. He's left Chelsea, he's got some experience, a couple of season-long loans in Holland, in the Championship in England. He's come back, signed that new 5-year deal. He will be expecting to get minutes in the EPL.
As we approach 25 minutes into this first half, still goalless between Barcelona and Chelsea in this international friendly. Saitama in the suburbs of Tokyo, Japan. This international friendly is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Mentioned what Chelsea have in front of them with a return to England. They have the friendly with Reading up next for some more exertions. Really travelling the countries to squeeze in their friendlies ahead of that kick-off on the 11th of August, so-called Super Sunday against Manchester United. Barcelona also will be jetting off yet again. They go home first after the friendly with Iniesta's Vissel Kobe on Saturday. They take on Arsenal, Joan Gamper Trophy, and a double header against Napoli, 3 days apart those games. As the team travels to the United States, to Miami and Ann Arbor. It's on the 7th and 10th of August respectively, just when the English season's getting underway. Barcelona go back home with a week further to prepare for their big kick-off under the Friday night lights at San Mamés against Athletic Bilbao. It's a fixture in which they drew last season 0-0.
You do have to wonder how much it takes out of the players' bodies, all the travelling, as you say, all the way out east, here to Japan, and all the way back west, out to the United States of America. Granted, flying private planes, granted, they'll be relatively comfortable on those planes, but the body's just not designed to be at 39,000 feet. Crossing so many time zones, it must take a lot out of the players.
Chelsea are off to Austria and Germany after their game with Reading against RB Salzburg and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Maybe a bit of altitude training in the way. Why not get the altitude training at 38,000 feet, as you said?
Be nice for Christensen as well. Wanted to go back and play against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Spent a couple of years there on loan. So many of these Chelsea youngsters have to go out to get the minutes. Mount and Christensen, though, now back and expecting many minutes in the EPL this season.
Which is nicely linked. It's Pulisic. Well, he's had one on target. That one couldn't divert to test Ter Stegen further.
That's a nice ball as well. Into the path of Pulisic. Some nice weight on the pullback as well from Azpilicueta. Really would expect to hit the target from there, Christian Pulisic. Very much off the heel of the boot.
Well, I'm very happy with him in training. He's bonded well with the players already. Hasn't had much time with the team. Still trying to find his feet. Lampard's still trying to find his feet and his favoured formation here. You see, we started with this 4-2-3-1. Jorginho and Kovacic in the deeper roles. N'Golo Conte's actually had to fly home from Japan to Chelsea.
Yeah, that's a real shame, isn't it? We spoke about Griezmann suffering that rugged challenge from Jorginho. Kante suffered a knee injury that sent him home. Hopefully that's just precautionary. Hopefully he'll be fit for the beginning of the season. Kante just added to the list of Chelsea injuries alongside Loftus-Cheek, obviously. Antonio Rudiger as well injured.
Hudson-Odoi making his way back as well.
Hudson-Odoi, another player who's just signed we're in the process of signing a long-term contract.
Nice work. Jorginho.
I think if Maurizio Sarri was still here at Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi would have facilitated a move out of Stamford Bridge, but now Lampard's there. I think he sees the opportunities ahead of him. Be a little more willing to stay around at Stamford Bridge.
He's a manager, a figure at Chelsea. Infectious character, Frank Lampard, always led by example. No fuss, always honest. That goes a long way. It's an intriguing appointment for Roman Abramovich to make. 12th permanent manager to hold the hot seat, not counting Hiddink couple of spells in charge. Under Abramovich, it's extremely high turnover.
I think his stature here at Chelsea, though, I think his stature with Abramovich as well is just going to allow him a few extra months, even if things don't go badly. Obviously, he's almost got the luxury of that transfer ban, which means he can't bring players in. I think, again, that gives him an extra few months too.
It's Griezmann. Trying to tee up Dembele. Good challenge arrived from Pedro.
Yeah, great covering back there from Pedro. Don't normally associate that with his game, but a good challenge on the top of the 18-yard box.
Do you think the combination of all of the challenges facing Chelsea will ultimately give them a great opportunity to succeed this year?
Succeed being finishing in the top four. I think that's what Lampard has to be looking for. Succeed as in winning the EPL or winning the Champions League. I don't think there's any chance of that happening for this Chelsea squad.
Here's Griezmann again. He and Dembele striking up a nice partnership. Collado keeping Azpilicueta busy.
I do think the transfer ban almost helps for us in that Lampard knows that this is his squad. He knows that he's got everybody in front of him. There's no point going out almost scouting players for the January transfer window or next summer. I think it means he's a little more reliant on some of the younger players as well. I think that will be a positive, maybe not for this season, but certainly for 2 or 3 seasons down the line, if he gets that long. And I think he'll be granted at least 12 months here to see what happens.
David Luiz. Of course, the formation changes have been free and plenty for Chelsea over the last couple of managers. It's such success with Antonio Conte as he delivered the Premier League title. The 3 at the back. He went to the 4-3-3 under Sarri, which drew its own criticisms. Now Frank Lampard testing out maybe a couple of formations in these early season friendlies. Certainly took a bump in the back from Sergio Roberto. Just too much fizz on that for Pedro to control.
Maybe a pre-season friendly, but there's certainly been a few challenges going in. I think that's almost good to see that it's not being treated as an exhibition match. Both sets of players want to start getting the physical contact. Both their respective seasons are not far away.
That's an uncharacteristic error which has led to the opening goal for Tammy Abraham and Chelsea. Sergi Busquets caught cold. And Chelsea's new number 9 manages to run in the opening goal of the encounter. He now has a goal against Barcelona to his CV.
It's a really poor giveaway here by Busquets. Ricochet of Jorginho falls kindly to Tammy Abraham. And a quick 1-2 with a right and a left foot. Right onto the left. Little stumble, but taps it home with the inside of his left foot. For Busquets, it's so surprising he just didn't know that Jorginho was there. Busquets is always that guy. Head on the swivel, always on the half turn. Here he didn't know what was going on around him. Turns into trouble. Good foot in from Jorginho. Ricochet falls kindly for Abraham, and that's a decent finish from the number 9.
He managed to control his idea, didn't he? Made up his mind around to Sagan and pushed the ball onto his left foot.
Maybe doing him a slight disservice. I'm not sure how much he intended exactly that. The right foot pulled onto the left to then finish first time. But look, they all count.
They certainly do.
Certainly looked like he meant it. I'm sure that he did.
Talking of them all counting, certainly everything he did last year with Aston Villa counted. Their return to the Premier League was at the expense of Frank Lampard's Derby County in the playoff final. He got 26 goals in all in his 40 games across the league and playoffs. What a fantastic record that was, and that has certainly persuaded Lampard, who saw him up close and personal on a few occasions, to give him a real chance in this pre-season. And it's some endorsement to wear the number 9 shirt.
Yes, it really is, and without doing the Championship too much disservice, the gulf between that second tier in England and the Premier League is absolutely huge. We've seen many players over the years be incredibly successful in the Championship and then just falter in the Premier League. Whether it be the likes of Darren Caskey back in the day with Reading, or Darren Huckabee when he was at Norwich and Coventry. The step up is huge, and Abraham certainly struggled when he played in the EPL with Swansea when he was there on loan. Just scored 5 goals in his 30 games with Swansea. Look, he's another year older, another year of experience. So it looks as though Frank Lampard has full confidence in Tammy Abraham. And Abraham has the confidence in himself. He grabbed that number 9 shirt off Higuain, Ross. Happy to wear it.
Higuain and his 5 Premier League goals, departing Chelsea. One of those moves that didn't pay off in the end. Although, who's to say that really? He still managed to get the job done, finish in the Champions League places, deliver a European trophy. Can't be all that bad.
Especially with all the alleged consternation in the dressing room. The fans, players unhappy with Sarri ball, or alleged Sarri ball. It certainly ended pretty well for them. It certainly ended pretty well for Sarri as well.
Chelsea playing out from Kepa. Nice idea, just couldn't keep it in. Good Emerson. Tonight on ESPN and the ESPN app, we'll have a Leagues Cup clash. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, remember him? In his LA Galaxy, taking on Tijuana. That match will be live at 11 p.m. Eastern. The winner will take on Chicago Fire Cruz Azul in the semis on August the 20th.
Quite interesting to see how both sets of teams take on that Leagues Cup, how seriously they take it. Obviously, Mexican teams just at the beginning of their league competition, MLS, very much up and running.
Poor old Ricky, sent to the turf. David Luiz, I think a little upset, given his marauding run just a few seconds earlier.
I think he wanted a free kick there, didn't he? As the Barca player slid in to take evasive action.
Busquets. He'll be kicking himself for the little slip, which allowed Abraham to collect that goal and really carry on what has been a productive pre-season so far. Does have 3 first-team appearances to his name, Tammy Abraham. There goes Pulisic. He's in on goal again, has to do it himself. His teammates were arriving, but maybe a couple of yards behind where he needed them to be. Again, doesn't manage to hit the target.
Yeah, I think Pulisic fancied that was his only option, didn't he? Taking a shot on target. Always going to be hard to beat Ter Stegen from that angle. Went for the top corner at the near post. Ter Stegen very much had it covered, even if it had been on target. Just that ability that Pulisic has, just to ghost past defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's in the Bundesliga or here in a friendly against the might of Barcelona. It's effortless the way he glides past defenders.
He's had some very bright moments in this first half, Christian Pulisic. Player who left Borussia Dortmund, having scored 19 goals in all competitions. 127 games, he pulled on that famous jersey.
And I like that front three, Ross, of the Chelsea lineup can be interchangeable. Pulisic can play on the left or on the right. Tammy Abraham's pulled out onto the right-hand side. Pedro's played through the centre a couple of times.
Oh, and that's Griezmann on for Dembele. The holes appearing at the Chelsea defence this time. Dembele at least forces Kepa into a bit of work. He's equal to it, the Chelsea stopper.
Decent strike from Dembele, hard and low, but a comfortable gather for Kepa. He'll be glad to get another touch.
Jorginho felt he was fouled. Play continues. Andreas Christensen back to his goalkeeper. So much will centre for double league defending champions Barcelona on what they're able to do in the Champions League this season, what the new signings are able to bring to the table, whether they can address some of the mental frailties which has led to their demise on the last two Champions League campaigns. Those huge leads overturned in the second legs, firstly by Roma, of course famously this season just passed by Liverpool.
Certainly a little cloud under the Barcelona team, wasn't it, at the back end of the season, as you say. The Champions League loss to Liverpool, the massive deficit overturned, the loss to Valencia in the Copa del Rey. 3 losses in their last 5 games in all competitions. They started the game brightly here tonight. First 20-25 minutes, very much the dominant side, Ross, but Chelsea have certainly come back into it from the sort of 20-25 minute mark. Really been able to catch that second win, Barcelona.
The goal has just given Chelsea the chance to reset as well. Now a chance maybe to add a little bit of gloss before the half-time whistle. Mount's delivery. PK getting in front of Abraham. It's a bit of a cheap giveaway to give the ball back. Well, coming up at half-time, we've got the boys in the FC studio discussing whether another high-profile move will make sense to Barcelona, that being, of course, Neymar's rumoured return from PSG. So Salazar, Brian McBride and Shaka Hislop will give us the lowdown on that. Plus we're going to take a little look at what these two teams are getting in their biggest signings so far. This will be the only signings that Chelsea make, and Christian Pulisic for Barcelona with Griezmann. His first minutes in Barcelona's shirt tonight. Is it going to be everything that they'd hoped for? There's a lot of pressure not just on him but Frenkie de Jong as well, from all the reports we're hearing, Barcelona have huge expectations for him to be the new metronome for their midfield. Speaking of Sergio Busquets.
Yeah, very much so. They're expecting him to come in, dictate, really be that energy, the drive in the middle of midfield. There's a huge pressure on his shoulders, but when you listen to De Jong, he certainly seems to have the confidence. He seems a fully rounded human being as well. Boy, he's one hell of a footballer.
Very much in the school of Barcelona. Johan Cruyff. Ajax connection continues. There's Griezmann, lovely. With Alba looking to instigate himself here. In fact, it was Griezmann who took the shot eventually.
Similar angle to Pulisic just moments ago. To lovely interchange here. As Griezmann gets the ball back, never going to trouble Kepa from there. If he's going to do anything, he just needs to fizz that across the 6-yard box. But a great move between Alba and Griezmann. Just wrong option at the death.
Griezmann didn't actually get the traditional welcome at Camp Nou in front of the fans when he signed his contract, due to them relaying the turf on the day that he signed the deal. It's just bad planning, isn't it? No keepy-ups for the fans.
Exactly. Didn't get to juggle the ball 10 times in front of 20,000 people. He'll be devastated.
The flag does go up against Abraham. Thought he got through.
I thought he timed that run perfectly this time, Tammy Abraham. Maybe just a couple of feet offside. I think that's the correct decision from the assistant referee on the far side.
Well, that is the last action of a first half which ebbed and flowed.
يلا شوط من أقوى التطبيقات الرياضية في الشرق الأوسط. تم تصميم التطبيق بمميزات عديدة وبواجهات سهلة الاستخدام. عند إضافة فريق إلى المفضلة ستحصل على متابعة لحظية لنتائج المباريات وأخبار الفريق. كما يوفر لكم التطبيق معرفة القنوات الناقلة والمعلقين للمباريات، التعرف على ترتيب وأهداف أهم البطولات الأوروبية والعربية، عرض جدول المباريات بالطريقة التي تناسبكم من خلال الترتيب حسب البطولة أو حسب توقيت المباريات، بالإضافة إلى إخفاء البطولات التي لا ترغبون بمتابعتها، التعرف على من قام بتسجيل الأهداف في المباريات، وكذلك البطاقات الصفراء والحمراء. حمله الآن مجانا، متوفر على أندرويد وآي أو إس. يلا شوط من أقوى التطبيقات الرياضية في الشرق الأوسط. تم تصميم التطبيق بمميزات عديدة وبواجهات سهلة الاستخدام. عند إضافة فريق إلى المفضلة ستحصل على متابعة لحظية لنتائج المباريات وأخبار الفريق. كما يوفر لكم التطبيق معرفة القنوات الناقلة والمعلقين للمباريات، التعرف على ترتيب يلا شوط من أقوى التطبيقات الرياضية في الشرق الأوسط. تم تصميم التطبيق بمميزات عديدة وبواجهات سهلة الاستخدام. عند إضافة فريق إلى المفضلة ستحصل على متابعة لحظية لنتائج المباريات وأخبار الفريق. كما يوفر لكم التطبيق معرفة القنوات الناقلة والمعلقين للمباريات، التعرف على ترتيب وأهداف